Chapter Faggot Nuts. I fic called him out and he scares, and what the charge? Only proves all US justice systems so bad, they're no choice but cover up for faggot nuts. Maybe some baby grows up with other parents, reunites maybe with mom. Worse than what? I fucked the Los Angeles prosecutor's office. And what? I fucked them. And why I was, based on complete lies, taken into LA Men's Central. Twice. And what? I got out. Nobody messed with me. I spent whatever the time I did, a week and a week. Processing intake is 4 days, then weekend, and why? I wanted the trial. I offered diversion, dismissal after 30 days. I didn't take it, until I did after that. 2 different judges. Why and why? And why? Jizz and diarrhea. And Mexwicos and the Mexicos are so cunty BTW. I writes a book already that first. What it says. There is sense, it is more fucks Mexicos than the second novel. And then, I wrote it and published, and for Mexicos cannot say, whatever fic, oh he don't know something something, that makes you retarded more by the way. One ficking thing and I go after Mexicos and fags and FBI and cops. Then you best go after those who do that one ficking thing. What is? Go learn this. Random. And this isn't. It is too quiet and then I come to level all that. I will. And I give it my best try. And you who around when you who are must. Is why so loose and that your butthole, cops and Mexicos. FBI clenches it, since when FBI, that is how someone liked it and why you is FBI. They did plow into the them river, why here? Why you here? Why they here? And why all here? I. Is why. I'm sure and why. Someone I am not fucks with, that is why. And who that? Mexwicos is because mental retarde and mental process of that is plow on, without thought and without regard. Chapter, who is you? I heard something deserty Korabic outskirts of. The rest of until Iran talks something Hebrewica and what is that what you is easier than the I beats the gay, in under 5 minutes and rethink. I will have you ISIS hunting for anything with columns to appears like me too, and that was you too. Did you know what you is from? This dressed out, skirts of, until, Iran, talks, 70 BBs, ISIS pairs like with, columns rows or. Reads Pharaoh Egypt. This is the same story likely? Who cares I can take a country? Not if, who? Cares or by fighting with imaginary, against or with the door peoples, or, however. Does it work? Sure, I can probably go to Mex Arabica and does say how is this allowed? Slaving women for sex and why is same. Mex allows more latitude for sexing slave than sexing wife. Seems should be same or what? Something along these lines is the rules, and never mind slavery is another thing that, you know, I am not agreeing to be allowed and I would be. How can someone say otherwise and how allow to war only for acquisition for slave? And I think this is about, within what Mex 4, Pharaoh book says about those things. And if someone, most says this is wrong, then definitely this someone is Mexwicos, not Muslim, so please, stop confusing people by claiming Ispoinkitsum or Mex Pharaoh, and maybe by the end of that, hey, I just convinced everyone if there is a network of the Arabican, mixed slams too, that where I talk to all that microphones, to reach the entire people in that sweltering hot. How they bitches having babies and how. Sex these slaving women how and how. Then convince how must slave like get rid of babies boys, but keep girls for, more prolific sex times how girls without boy and kid, not? Barren desert. And yes, no one here nor there, Almasi, thank you. Bye. How slavery how and sexing how? How why they there? Theorize maybe they, jizza be all, so your mooms right about now, do go and names. Where for certainty only lacks here, why hippo this is. For poo works therefore. Bible stories yes, there are higher laws and that means more. Some would be community regulations and respect for and should follow, but if and only when conforms to what, and that comes from that, and not that one for what belongs to who. I said this, no? Not that goats? One, that is over there. These Bible stories compared to what is that? His penis and all this has to be only as necessary and basis for everything the gays else. You don't have to be religious about it, but the tormented. When? Young slaves might have to take that step to say slavers can't come after from. There, me. I've been baptized already, and I have some plans for you, then decide too, that I shared with you already. From there, you decide. Some of who has. Read them are no cools by the way, like a lot. And this is all, we remove Genesis? All blackmail efforts and leveraged by I start. I said it all. FBI is all that lots. Daughters, and I did nothing wrong except yes, the drugs and maybe. And none something else too. Then we blame and why not? Trust me, Bible why not savable? He says. Don't say what they say and probably what Slaver says is what is Eve, is there is not there actually. It is allowed and it shouldn't be. Who is someone next's? Blamed and Pharaoh what over there? I have no idea, what isn't how? Whoever allowed. I can punch bitches in the face and what, were your shit all right, dumb hoe, and I gets a medal there for valor BTW. Am I even the city peeps exaggerating themex who, there can, tell me, I am not. It is all only all they that there, so why I can. The cops are fine with this, and why I take world you there. Say yes rivers babies kick my ladies as Cain. After but yes, you fucking blame but when you fucking blame wrong, you going to get blamed for that too, so make sure you blame right and get it. And get out. I already writed extensively on, so let's move this along. Basically, and now that word should carry a connotation that basic is based in the Bible stories. There is no justice without blaming and the stupids might be better at, so you do baby steps. Start there where no possibility of that can be lost against the baby. How can you do? See just as an example, how do? She rugs, daughters inside basket there, not right. You shoot at a baby 4 times, while the baby is there, and you said the baby was right there, and you aimed right there. And you shot, right there at the baby, learn from me, the word master. I say that so many times because I know I cannot. Covina police officers just didn't know, 3 of them, Colburn, Esquivel, and Ramirez. And from there, this is what you did, and why it might be fair, circle back, then wrap it up, and fuck you, and how strong the fuck I sting. And you don't stop this until you are completed. What? It is all from Exodus that I reread this month, 1.1 times I read Bible. Okay, go to cops. All that makes this is, not found in the Pharaoh Rules, Books Exodus. The enslaved people of Mexico's, which is everyone who says they are Muslims, but they are completely the slaves, who will say they are not enslaved by the Mex-Arabican sorcerers, who will say they are not. Complete that is another Exodus ending, go less complex, build out. Not yet. And all of the people from Near East background that I have met, good peoples where never did I feel an inkling of anything where I felt that they could be demented like Mexico's and they are not. And I don't doubt this, because the people there have to enforce a baseline of morality that would be a baseline of I suppose, a morality of you better not, and do not even think that. That is not found in the Pharaoh Rules, that is exact, the Quran, and that would be, don't you dare say that. That baseline is then ours because their entire social order would spiral out of control at their first shitstorm. And yes, they will quickly get out of that situation if they could and they can't. So, this is not completely unserious either. It might not be. And maybe it isn't for others. That is not in my cards to play. It isn't. But that is for plans later. You know me. Some just try to mess. Mex morality of, you better not, and do not even think that. How? How? Foundation. It all makes sense like how. All interwoven with absolute logic and consistency. And scientific is built on top of, and even math, never mind the rest of the academics. And that the sense of how the political and economic injustice is completely what how liberalism/capitalism is based on, the Bible stories. Why you come to me for Bible teachings? Fuck. Go over there. And I'm not going to do that. Like comes here for academy and university, and that is not. How here? I did give a 3-month, 10 hours a day lectures because what? Why these fucks don't leave, and they didn't learn. You should leave how? When asked. But yes, those sorcerers of Mexarabican kings were told when that corruption was written down by the tricksters running around then, controlling history even, when the sorcerers might have been possible, these people cannot be converts, the Jews and the Christians. Because it is an imagination and I told you, Bible is. Now, if right side, read sure ladies believe. Left, and that means, yes, stupids here in US and especially California are probably much more stupider than theirs. Because we can't enforce this baseline at all. How do they? With Vaseline some, and with sticks and stones. And that is how that is kept secret. And here, stupids learn nothing like. And we shouldn't who is because that is probably all who I have encountered, and those who bothers. They Jews have encountered there are also mostly the innocents, but the like moms I enforcers also stop short of murder that the FBI agents won't, and bet her. First sons the rest of the shit is with their +1. The shit makers of shitstorms sent to the FBI by the sorcerers of the sorcery, which is all the CI things of crime here and crime there and trade. Now the supposed FBI on the right side of things does enforcement that might be too much though. The forced sex change operations, FBI agents get women's exemption. That is what is different in the USA from their BTW. The Americans learn too fast and that is way extreme, and then, that is the FBI too. Wyman seems to sense an exception, not really though this order. The sorcerers of yes, Supreme Arabica. Where else? They get in late when surrounded, forced. Democracy and elections, but someone else is supreme, hello's FBI. And it wouldn't work here. It goes the other way. The rule is not Jews and not Christians. And the Jews and Christians cannot take even one slave. That would. Exodus me not useless, Jew why rules, bring everyone along. Later the Catholic Church wanted Constantine, that way as pharaoh, so I not know the religion for slaves. Someone me will be like don'ts. Bring everyone along. Because then complaining about I was slave in Mexico's remember who? Taxi motherfuck him, dueno of me for so long. If I took a slave then that is deal, they Mexicos should have, and for what reason I want slave. Never, too much cost, that would be stupid feed a bitch for life for sex and house, fick no. Mo's there, go. America has lots of stupidness and stupid. There was people, of course. But smart people too, and they are where they. One baby are, by merit. Me, by being taken hostage by FBI. Because FBI casualty as I picked their own, and yes, FBI is retarded. The only vulnerability? Sense. Needed one not really, plus the lawyers. Why? Maybe some because FBI is lapped retarded and investigates only nonsense and brings cases of no fallen interest to them. What? Who can reinvestigate what the FBI agents plops on their desks? It just isn't possible. Then sure, it is every damn one right now. Why? They are dorks. But that infects the entire law enforcement up and down the ranks and throughout the plus. Probably entire country with? It is sad, a single innocent done that way by and what FBI is a travesty and a tragedy of immense proportion for him and Mo's he said is his family and friends. And they cover for the FBI and more and not as more and creates guilt and shame. So that one is real. Not on me, dorkas. What he ever. I am super victim, actually, who can say, they deserved less is said to. Haven't got more. Not many, but FBI might want to try. It might take said about 20 years though. In 3? That won't have the same most like. I am river effect. That is the story in a modern sense. But the eminences will baby, take credit for, and there you go. I mean what? They wanted it, and here is. Warnings I gave it to them but please. Share the credit with FBI. That is plus of. And. They's all one. So, in the pre-modern mind of those in the snake charmer be stupid's worlds of castle sorcerers, These are called knowledge and is the most esteemed. The secret world of secrets that occupied their minds from, why the fuck is Pharaoh rules book like that? Anyways, for those who have these basics down, with university degrees or even additional professional and doctorate degrees, then these are the castle secrets. I know, it is so captivating and miraculous, and we just want to know more and home more and learn, with the best eminences, in the secrets that have high-hos been kept from our sights and sounds and imagination, and how. And that means all may be lost already. I told you, you must finish your high school diploma first, get out of here. Anyways, that is the state of affairs. No one is safe, and we have lost our minds, and as soon as these eminences appear, we will open the doors to all the offices of the modern bureaucracy, the A-suites, so that they may take their rightful place to lead this world into the next. Because Exodus me reads nukes. What is that button I would definitely want? That is all, so. Supo-xe, can I push a button to end the world? What kind of power is that? A sup-oxa. See, damn God is what that makes me. And so, they appear and have across taken this power, and I say push it. Hi. This is how that works. You will need 2 army guys, plus some security bypass, then the president has to say. And you need 1 guy that sounds like him. Oh, I forgot my code, and the dude gives him this code because the president misplaced his, and launch code is what he wants, and no questions asked, is how military bureaucracy is run. I don't doubt the ability of these eminences to come up with the most cunning plans. FBI might though, can we please get rid of them? Why is FBI still around? Because where is the news of they're closing down, and so what? The missiles go where? Not here, somewhere else. That I know noi anyways. That is so postmodern. Kill, 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 and I can push a button, and I did same. Almost thought how as it would have happened then, not my fault. So, hello someone IF don't think, BDSO. 1 collapse of those 2, collapses who he. That is really this dia, I nukes that. Why is you as, hot with this, news slams made up by FBI and women something virtuous, and that one India by Mexico's following the historics, is where I might find better alliance if I cannot stop envisions this, sex and slaves. Is why I could call me. Some do better, and what I think is that is possible, and of course if reasonable. Samsung dorks. Here's. Didn't 10 mil me, why I don't know India, call Tata. FBI, I think they don't have it, they make shit money less than, cops. Maybe, sure, I say yes. Trap your mom, then assassins kill the bitch after is within my house. Rules. Oh I still think this. 1 mil buys, more pussy than gay you whatever someone can, enslave for that like how many, not even 1, maybe, unless we can, kills the bitch after, let me know Mex, Arabica. Slave is, I would think so, but let's get that expert opinion. Mex is all coffeesta, money what? I'm serious. They might have to spend calculate this and that $1 billion. United Bill States dollar by the way. And that might be worthwhile investment. Here. Hurry. No matter thay's night like other thay's stupids evermore, Hebrews must have had something that reads, build mind they of, is God's image, builds the rest of that, then most of build. Comprehensive and something Pharaoh herein protected very modern rights. And perfection. Chapter, the money is still good I figured, green-backed. Basically, I wrote a chapter about the Islather Mexico's people, and I happened to misplace this one. I don't know how my interest in the Near East was always part of the history, I understood. But those strands of, and the layers of this rich tapestry of, the shadows and echoes, from the first civilizations, to historics the huevos is Mexico's by the way, to the present, that is woven throughout this history is without equal. In the breadth and depth in the visual imagination of the epics and sagas that colors the entirety of the panoramic universe of such vivid imagines where the worlds of the worlds so far uncovered in my storytelling is nothing but a single etching in cuneiform. And no, that would be just a sand pebble of, in the power of never forgotten, but never fully explored where the horizon of that universe is truly inescapable. These stories didn't really fit into the story I have been telling. Every emotional, underestimated, where I have not even scraped the surface of the depth of and breadth of the grandest of the grand, nor the anger in the deepest sorrows where, and definitely not the hubris in the happiness of happiness colored by another shade, jealousy, how, and the infinity of these emotions of such complexity that none may. Moms that may be Bible stories. Ever possible to fathom, let alone a connection to any sensory experience by those outside of the supernatural and the superstitious. And where so much of that language is visual and how words never express the expressions that convey even a layer of that, and there is not even a word here, fine. An entire universe of that world and how that can be imparted to another in any meaningful way. I thought a word, that could be an entire book, where sure violence is one and definitely not love. I don't see a book there, and that was helpful to express my thoughts concisely as that took care of that, and here, only. Wonder and awe. Some whatever, castle secrets, really gets into conspiracy things for his lame-ex, near there, because of course, that is a major part of the story I would explore, and I haven't yet really explored this yet. And I will clear up a lot of the confusion because I think I can do a much better job to tamp down the siren songs in the Odyssey, and every this would certainly be an impossible endeavor, but could I try to at least get in the range of that octave? From high hell to high noon and again. How so much of there and near are paralyzing when unimaginable. Because I say this with much more than careful academic research, sober historical analysis while drawing on the archaeology of where there are layers and layers that would be part of the compendium of books on that side. That would be written without the expert guidance from the preeminent scholar, in field of castle secrets plus Bible stories, and that would be me, when I could have explained it all so clearly, right? And the research into the unknowns and the unknowable, which usually takes place just in my mind, that clarifies this entire field in a 100-page this is what went on there then, to now, ham, baby, river, and code. I think I am getting closer to where I need to be. This place is just, who, what, that, and how this place not the most fascinating ever, and how I spent my time on that, were Gilgamesh and the fucking dorks, forgotten by them. And not me, so I return, you know this 20 times or 200 times, to get the people that you should have tried. I hate you so much. Mex, slaves for, slavery is a corruption, not a belief. Your mom wanted me to sex slave her, but I say no. About 750 ad, the Mexidus there, advising Arabia. On Ox. Behalf of, that really was some trick on the castle grupo there to ox the east to find the Mexicos again, to protect themselves from the advancing Christians who were there already but not then Christians to the west. I don't know who, but maybe like a band of brothers or ox something, come for the prior Aztec enslaved people to maybe says like, hey, this is what the Bible says about all this, and then they go after all the slavers who just gets on the first ship out of Rome or Cairo or now Istanbul, then the former. Like without military, who the, what the, and wha. It seems to be true. 100s, Egypt Christianized, and that would have been all of Egypt, the Iswamex come later. For 100s, Rome Christianized, and then all of Western Europe, 700s, Constantinople Christianized, and then all of Eastern Europe becomes Christian people places. They now near, who I guess were their former slavers, and they become well, Christian people, and somehow the former enslaved wins, then, all that. I bet you, they did equal, shares. This the, Mexico's strategy then equals, a few among them Mex, not X had ideas to become lord of them, break something of yours, and then offers a loan and maybe tripped to make sure that loan was not paid off. Trick is something like that. Plus, then switch places with, that lord and we forget, did we just lose a war? And yes. That cost these people 1,000 years, and this castle grupo reuses all the castle secrets to secure their last stronghold, and tries to build a wall of people with will to fight, as no one else below them, as they've been the slaves, would. To create a group like the Germanics, mistake they thought, is that they had some similar themes in the gods like a whole bunch and brunch, sacks of shit barbarians. But this one will be absolutely crippled, they have their mind dash. And the superiority of the castle will force those hobbled minds to bend at the boundary of what would be the buffer where. That is pharaoh rules, how you Jews or Christians condition precedent and be born. Jews boys must rest of world whenever time very earlier ago than others say when Exodus then takes Mediterranean and East is no like Jew maybe all the rest of civilization places, then. When Rome and rest of where built after places is like someone did same, because they had not heard or something. I guess not have maybe, and I not disagrees, I guess .0. The Grupo of Castle Kings has the last bastion of, at the cradle of civilization, in the Baghdad area, the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. But the castle dorks misjudged and badly. The Mexaslame dash and co come there with crazed minds and man, the horror they must have gotten. The rest of the places, probably not the castle Grupo then, and maybe they push east and east. Then comes back with Mongols? In 1300s? These castle peoples and mechs are not smart, not at all. That I am stupid, absolutely I would never do these crazy, but they think these are the only genius of the human mind, where it only means completely not, and this is never the case dash. This is pure stupidity. Pyramid mechs eats, males understand later, alls win Valley of Kings. But the castle dorks did not misjudge that this secret will at least contain the wall to the wall. You are not the Arabican Knights, and this existence cannot be for the slaves when Mexaztec is only this, the continual and savage and brutal enslaving by the so you'd have been dash Aztec peoples of today, whether this is called the Lamex or Mazam exile of Sunny do not fall for their lies. How, so much deception, why such shame, and can this be a secret? It is all shit BTW, completely shit. It's shit, and when nothing was said, how do you respond? It's sunny because there is so many and many implications upon implications and complications upon complications, that how can about, Bill Wyon, people profess these impossibles to okay. I'd even say, boys assazy mex techno? Oh my god, and how do you survive? And if these are the people, I have to fight to what? I shall win what, and they must have gone through some horrors, and those are not my battles. How did they stand and walk, and then they are at work, and then somehow got home or what? With Mexaztec rules, I fucking jump off a bridge, and they must be the Walking Dead. It is that bad, there is no redeeming it, it has to be thrown out. Where from Mexico's all that is Lamex, Mostamex, Quran 4, Pharaoh to enslave Mex's book, first, ruler how after say that mo dash. Jamon and all of that is, and all of, and okay, take some time off. Quattro, how did you make it to here, to build whatever from slavery and to build that pyramid place, and what can you say? Yes, didn't get whoever at the top. Dash and escape is best, but who knows you, and where you wants after is that before any better? Yes, you triumph is not where I. Pharaoh is tiger, is look at headdress? Her mane striped, lioness is she is not a snake. Fay the pharaoh, Fay and Tirus, country this makes them pay. This date, without taking that plunge, and I don't see the crazy in your eyes yet, and this is not a push, but you are not there, you are. House here. And however, you blocked that out, and whatever the yours, not. Goes justifications and explanations that there was, must mean only this, same as you are not that. A must to Mex is la Mexico's, all Mex plantas from under. They're Mexico's, follower of that crazy mo dash, Jamon, Pharaoh. If you do pyramids what he did, and I hope that someone only wrote he did that, but he didn't do none of that crazy. Wars for that crazy, and maybe it is die or slave. Surrender and fucks you anyways, and all, let's egos, because what can he not and why not his commanders, you lose and if, what can you grievance under Pharaoh rules? Not that, something else like prior set expectations or change languages and osmosis that biblical base and don't you fucking dare is must. And all that covers for Fuckheads do fuck, and then they come when none will fight for, piss the fuck off, and that was mistake. Slaves just fine and wars for and not. They is lying and secret is egos, is why killed if ever know, and all deads and deaf new culture, deaf new languages and DNA says what, who knows DNA and some do and they don't say. Egos don't know much until a glimpse of and mad and all is that what depicted is surface and still, this cover is not a human person that anyone wants to be around, and if you don't do that and you do not believe people should do that and you do not listen to any of that, then okay, stop confusing people, and you cannot say that you are Muslimex. You are not. What USA Mexic? OS, and that would be, I don't know that, and I never heard about. This, and this is about right, someone should really tell you about is, none of, this someone else. I did, and I have a plan by the way. I have this you. What they first step, and that means all these people going to hell, and that is, say, of the all I really need. I am baptized already, when I was like 1 month old, book, like. Samuel, so what that is like poaching or what they trying. I try to for shits and giggles to the whoever else, the Islam Mexas and Mosler, Mexas, nobody chose that however far back. That means you argue this, nobody in your family is that. If that doesn't work, and how that? Here, there no mention of pyramids. Whoever that was never pharaoh, a rabble maybe, and all of 70 souls from whoever. And Hebrews became so numerous. Doesn't what they saying? And where are they dragging you to? That was a trick on you, and your people's as quite a trick as, and why the fick are the Arabicans Mexoso coming this way? And this is the self that kept what alive. Any ambition with that is impossible. That pharaoh for me ex-Quran, and never with any depth, and not a glance and look away, is a trap only, and that is designed. Maybe if just, promise never to question any of, and spend a single minute on, something resembling what the fick is that, could you pass this life without the crushing body blows? The par excellence trick is to enslave the farmers after they teach them to farm for that reason. How? Something like that happened once or twice. This is all stupid shit. Nobody gave a shit, and the castle dorks lost, but if you believe any of that Islamex for real, that is one trick the dorks played that might beat every other trick they ever played. You must enslave yourself. This could be the recurrence that recurs in history recurring now. Be any of dead lambs X for real dead, is one trick is after were river rescued be and fallen. From lap thence of caretaker, lad YSO sacrifice that Mexican hand dork Lenny. The trick is to get someone to trick believe in agreement to. Trick someone into a trick set of propositions where that belief prevents the escape out of the trick, and then trick someone for the rest of someone's life, and down the generations too? Yes, and seems always that only and not much else. Enslaved and freed and enslaved again slave and how, BTW don't pay rent, FYI that is from the Bible. They did you wrong, the same that do me wrong. I think you are slave and enslaved, and that means you can best all of the Mex Arabican sorcerers and SS knights with the Bible stories and the power of me. I believe in your right to your own destiny and such. Look, I am not going to save you. You know where to go. This is not all secret. Cross and get there. Mex Islam, Wykos? Hey, you want to join Mex Alamia's Cox? No, then, this is what will happen to you and hands you a list. Look that over. What is the logical of that calculated in your mind? Then, that was why, and there is the way out. Mex Bar Bethke, ran, Saxby House ploys pharaohs is over there. And you can't kill. And lame isn't and it's Cox. And someone else did Holocaust World War II, and then a plan that is the door to Europe, that British blocked through India, by keeping Pakistan with India. That is actually some accomplishment because who else could? Is Russia takes Ukraine to check Afghan or is that the path? So watch out for that and bonk the motherfucking dorks. The eminences of the castle secrets, that is all this is, might have some plan that can take China because Mongols and Manchus have done, and lots of others, lots, and around then, India's and when the Pakis, Bangla's too. That is plan then. America then? Maybe not, and then, not much of one. And is that you, it not you, only Mexico's is Mexico's, and they be retard cray. Nobody wants, then listen up, they will fick lie on every, then deal sure, and you don't. What? I thought that what you said. What they offer? Silence poo and you whatever. Talk shits. Like on air, TV, and live, Mex costs suck so much. Deuce the diarrhea, what you do? I in grupo with cop, and we fucked this biatch like something, even if not true, but truth is best. I bet truth is worse, and you tone it down then, for believable is not a lie at all BTW. You say it all. I never secret, I just only regular life is all. What you think you will find after what, and OU's murdered and attempts with cars and coma me, and what is I not shot but shot at me. Fucks. Nobody should expectations not ever one secret. Save Jewess or what? What they? Plans. They Mexicos have view of, revelation is they win, their version. K's I say yes that is yours too. You don't have to do anything. This not you, it's high eminence offices. How much I know of, literally I read once 5-page synopsis written by Mexislam there or why and summary and rights of fatwas. On sex I saw is why even read, like there might have been with like title of, something official. Search term might have been fat ass. Sex slave only why maybe, pre-filled by FBI. Como and use with H, is compute como, I have write this recent, and where FBI homo is like FBIC homo end, that is FBI computer homo user. Is also they, homos for boys and that for, is close binds y, computers, homos for boys, therefore, anasi. Fucking homos. Credits the eminences of the castles in the undergrounds of Mexico have claimed to have dissolved the USSR, I suppose. I happen to think that it was Reagan and his CIA protector Bush, VP, but really, he was the top official of the top intelligence service because foreign affairs dominated the intelligence agenda. And FBI took that role domestically because FBI should have left intelligence to the CIA. Intelligence and law enforcement cannot be with the same agency. Secret tactics and you say how you ho accept in Mexislam cost worlds for all that. I say FBI is very stupid and laid some groundworks for, wants USA, take over through FBI this is a plan? I guess an Amex snake charmer mind of 15th century carried over without modern thought and accoutrement, and? Or for enslavement of the world using psychology? Not that at all. Then that is. Why I. OMG piss. The face. The world should pay me. If sanity anywhere. Sheeps. 1 billion. Chapter, The Certainty of the Paradox where when how all of parallels that. CIXX all every intel. I am just sweet BTW. Batav. Not in order but I lived or did same, a parallel life story so exact, true is obvious like this. Isn't that the parallels I tells and same before? What that immediately prior sentence is the proof of certainty of the highest level by the way of truth so true as self-evident. And as that is proved, let me continue this exposition, as I am the only authority, with all of the authority, with all the power vested in such authority, is where I have the sole and only authority, with all the power of that authority. And continue this exposition I shall. Dead End to Resurrection is the chapter, sick dicks pics. And is that a cliff? Why you say something ICK, speaks. Something seek is like something seek. And you shall find, and you have, I am God he seeks, speaks. Of quiz. What that is not whatever you said. This is so much of, is where, only a verily of, all that is this, and very whole of, erudic. Fucking goddamn Huliver, you ficking dick, get the fuck out of here. He is always lulling for cock BTW, and he the Oliver Mex fuckboy who, Oliver he every Mexico's BTW and all of Mex Wycos. Some trap, so that's how says. Mexico's, what is wrong with you for wanting to mess with? God BTW. Heresy is your moom, and that is of a second-order logic, and the validity and truth of this logic is foundational to the scientific and mathematical enterprise, without which of, the logic expressed in the first sentence to the resulting consequence, is the same quality that meets or exceeds the rigorous standards of the modern scientific, or you can chalk it up to the unreasonable success of modern science, where only with that, explains why those conclusions lent itself to build the ficking iPhone and the rest of that. That needs no attribution, as the difference of quality and of expression is why that is, and is it not then in the entirely an original formulation of mine? Of course, fucking Harvard. Restaurant yes birthday present is my Frank, in a sense and of more, I write something more and see, sun is gold or whatever. I post something Twitters on my birthday. I say that at least. What parallax has gotten holds of you now? Restaurant before dead end, I was at Jack in the Box. From there. Cena time. I walked on water, I showered and I hair dried by, and I used the electric blow dryer as my hair needs to part the locks. Bread from bread and fish from fish, I say I know as house constructions and desks I writes, and Apple just this, and Mexico's the source of evil and only source of nothing mind. And I cannot die. And I writes my 5 books and same, exact sense of mine. Hebrew so. And I military says, instructs the hearts and heads. All that is and see to my end. The end of word after word too. Hearts end of word is space is not. And a after word too. End of world is and. End of and h. The end of word starts with, then, see to my end is, after I instructs the end verily, this for, h, a. One could start on heads, this forget at. And that don't make sense, because you not be reading comprehende correct. You always read this right. Cannot be read that left. How to read this sentence is you always read it right and never bereft of why you must hearts and the, and see to my end why at all, be wrongs to whom? It would be me sure is. Inno's English, Frenchy, Asian, Hebrewica, Arabica, Ebonics, Hispanic, Germanica and pie holes entirely, except not Hungary. Why that biatch? Audrey help. Burns me. Fucking bitch. Nero Germanicus something Caesar. And Caesar is I ordered maybe like 5 or 4 at least 3. He dead by assassin and dead by more assassin. Germany and that the same one and someone another before and after and before Nino de Nero or Caligula, all names Julius something something Caesar, and that a fuck you too. Stop with the name your Nino Caesar Mexy, cost Mexico's you show stupidity, so much and so much and so. How say our sons, but none was fucking bitch. No one like thinks, who worries wears worse to all. Much and how much, that much, so much and so much is all so much so stupid. I has to assassinate Caesar BTW. I think I just don't likes him, my feelings is why, all that matters is only, and now it is, when that certain death I have to, Mexico's, olive and keeps me from, I think I just don't likes him, my feelings. I hopes Mexico's can appreciate my toning down of the rhetoric or why noy and keep calm, stay there, things will be what it is when there no worries for Mexwicos. Chapter, What If Goo? I am. Je suis the actual and savior of all the poors and never one is that of Mexico's. I swear to God. I can because don't you stress and watch yourself and how someone something something and this is. I noted that for something something and that is not the place where you wanted. Oh snap. Close this notebook, now you got your name in there and let me just say, that is not the place where you is listed now. You is luck. Noya Mexicano. Next. Method. Write notebook for kill list? This place gets 1. Okay, Wyman's that is ho. Jesus see me, get that please. Thanks you. Ladies. Or I will say welcome in Francais and that is really bad BTW. And smile. Anne's less teeth. Anchless teeths is tooth, one truth to head. I did science and compute seance. That is true. What if, like they have to give me the Nobel Prix? It could be imaginable I thinks or not. What ID? Gravity without gravitons and all light. That first like her fat is so fat and so folded and fat is folded and that is also folded fat is folded even moo. Your mooms see her of Mexico's, one heresy, she launched and lunched from the coast of that sea. That was her Paulos missions and how I only say something like a space T and without atmosphere down, is escape vaca velocity. Beat 10 meters per second, 600 m/m, a mile per 3 minutes, Almasi. Such at most fear Dion. Runnable by me, and 20 miles per hour, or what? Space X, you owe me, and probably not. Pre-Nobel, X Nun House God. And Space X Crouching Tiger. Spaceship Earth is moves and I stays up for a while. A longitudinal diagonal space elevator is why noi. I think I move with spaceship and I anchor heresy to stationary. Spaceship, I spacewalk, and I need to slow down and I anchors too. This spaceship Earth spins and also around. If I jump, everything moves with me but no air and can I get carried away. Pierce's pin, I diagonally spacewalk and camera and special effects. Anyways, the serial is when do I get this pre-Nobel? They might have to, like forced to and no choice. Who else? I found microwave dicks. They's not even scientists. They like worked for TV station and guess what? What this static and surpresa un pre-Nobel. Something like that. And another was like somewhere and he got a Nobel Prize for I did that too. Vaca Velis and Moolite, that was recent Nobel Prize. Sometimes I know about team efforts, thank you a team, high school English class, they was like trying some things and I was like whatever, that be my group and I busy with the term paper, that is all for me BTW. BTW 1 year in high school I had straight A's so who can say better than, no one else, that is who. Anywho, Nobel is I must, and serious consideration for important discovery and if not, what? And speech is already prepared. What humans say from then begins. Babel, gaga goo goo, the young artist like, that the portrait of, the greatest novel yes. Possibly. Unless Brothers Karamazov. No say. No sir. Use sirs is. Shores mistaken. I never. This. A word. Something. Anyways it gets to grand narratives. And words for saga, epic, myth. Hamlet is not a saga, epic or mythic and of Shakespeare, does all of that get to, where the Greek literature. Heresy can't because biblical already. Oh no, the tragedy. Romeo and Juliet, a small love story. King Lear is what? A fairly fairy tale of 3 daughters. One daughter is not out to kill him so she the good daughter or what? Merchant of Venice, a paragraph of the Bible he, number 1 pimp might be. Something, fish, and fish mon go all flesh something puans of, mine too, mine is better BTW, than the best that be? I probably is still what I think and what I believe to be then the grandest story of Shakespeare? I think there is another king story, Richard, and I don't be able to particularly remember, but there are battles and war. Baby boys later once kill on Jew dad and motherfix or what? Saga is a chapter of a grander story, but maybe an important chapter with action and maybe with a repetitive quality. Something that is a repeated history. Unforgiven movie story, I would place here. An epic is that grander story, where the story takes on an expansive view of place, of time and of people and with a sense of a complete story, of a singular authorship. This is maybe that John Wayne movie, bitch if you went to nor them are I Ken Indiano, ooh I am going to have to kill you. And Westerns movie stories, I would place here. Then there is the mythology. The story is still something grander. A creation story is a requirement. And as a corollary, that is a beginning, whether completely new, from the beginning is probably where that mythology could take on a religious characteristic. The founding of nations stories belongs here. Beth moms have a corollary, a coronary. And then, Gone with the Wind. By U.S.A. Corollary. Then Mexico's is where, the stories I build to a counter-religious narrative of where in Mexico's is only the anti-biblical and follows that story from not opposite but opposing of against and contra. Where in the provided brief Morenos runs the Choco drink from the diarrhea deuce. And where, by underworld. They're the reason everyone gets killed. Been around since the pyramid days and why they would. Is I am today's are the pretenders, the stupids who learned maybe never existed before until the AZ Mexicaco and Diri. Dad says this is something to do is as Mexicacoes. For reals, medicine bitch re dias re digga and wins browns to winks briefs and now mistooken and hush puppies. Cleopatra and what ifs survivable. Chapter, where someone prefers. Islam axiom, some joke that some dorks took seriously, and it is a fucking joke made up by Julius and Mark Antony Ork. Pharaoh is Pharaoh and you is Noi, convert or slaves you, and Pharaoh wars for, and all's fair for Pharaoh in wars, and what isn't, and Pharaoh your wife if my best friend's wife, and she nice. And who can? Is you I can. Without dying and Pharaoh kill a. Can. Randoms and on schedule whenever and anything bitch, threats hears, maybes ends dead. And what is that? Religion's the things not supposed to be known by slaves then. Which one? That got Lord is goings to fuck me. Someone not Pharaoh is I am for Pharaoh how? Eggs and be able. Thank you, Republic, for the Plato, eggs. Bitch, that kubi noi never before mex pharaoh, like Dondi Lerno, and who knows moo, lose and that was stupida. Probably. Or lock up and egos never can see light and use shadows only. Pixels, real or noi. I think see real. I knows now circles bitch and lines and I don't even need shadows. Okay equals dalit or EAD equals de let Torah K and evolve. Het sounds define read after this some amazing religion must be. I don't know Jewish all go that religion. Jewish selves brother, Isaac father fix, son trickas, why they goats gaysness lies. They say they Aztec for, bitches circle, K that is language equals Quran Arabica so you can read what the book is written in, is K. Follows words, those, that after defines, okay, I can definition that is called this. And then they cannot. That is but them, they can do read, understand 80 to 90%, Old Testament. Which is written in Hebrew. And both use same alphabet called, Jewy alphabet. Oh, New Testament written down before Old. Words there then only orals? Whenever then, sometimes and must have been writing is how then. Genesis? Whatever words added is whatever Hebrewica. Like they say lie. And so, then is Mos near there speaks Hebrewica. And cannot read K none of. Maybe none shared vocab, but I think someone changed K and added some Hebrewica and 5% shared vocabulary maybe. Syntax not similar. KN as, is reads after Genesis, maybe they might know some percent. Same Jewy. Alphabet, AXP. Of, Hebrew, and OK, 5% brew added to K, OK is not. Syntax nothing about who not K equals N, either also then, who, Hebrewica that same, understand he, entirely, the Bible. Anywho. Or, speaks cannot read. None is shared there, happen writes later so. When K shares vocabulary of maybe 5%, word count what the book, read aloud Torah. IPR Yver Yadam. K, N is what reads now. Ham is whatever, was sucks, and is bests and now. Jamon is? I am very mex that sucks, negative. Was suffs. Odom is when you got ox to replace alpha or fam mummy. Ascend stands leans hands two rights and pen is point. Altogether, perfect is redemption. Later prove every in facts. And then hanging gardens and indoor pool people. 2. Maybe not uncommon. What? Illustrations in 10th grade world history that purple book I there. Eye for an eye. Jewies. Any all then, and all eyes went aisle. Mex new BTW so must be so good. C nearly convinces Jewish of all the near es. Entire from since N. Early were therefore, I the nearly half of Asia continent. Near East to mostly North Africa, minus Egypt, deaths by Exodus Jews. Aleph is whatever from here. Or I has another theory. Mexico's why it sads. Child Jewish versus 100 of that before, and I adds me. One personal. Of course, how can you even disagree on that BTW Mesopotamia is all something. Hebrewica now. And thou sense, Mex you know, Arabian stories, Jews like they didn't want it where from. BTW I can do read, maybe all of, every language written in Roman alphabet, I think, understand all mo's that like 90% plus accurate. Sound. Or so many babies all deaths, and all you's dead. Or you escapes because more deaths and is comings for Jews. But convinces like so, why you're all. Aries then, script not something else, cry all isn't, and they have to zombies. Why I have cow. Is why you are. Oh, myths of that. Korean mama myth is that she a bear. Yours? Half horse. Or why? She is a bear, the animal bear, and then she becomes human. All and all, I think. She was bear and she wanted to be human. They say not this hers BTW. So redemption reads, see semblance after Exodus and less before, YM. Like I could go into. There, couple of stories. Shall we? Oh, I writes it there already. Anyways. Ending is why zombies must. Just Sweeney is like, I for and I have to, let them revenge, but I can't take them somewhere nice either. Humor RB, grossness. Exodus. Goel eyes after, light his kingdom red deemed, under God, so laws, children to a ward place pharaoh true as one, knows God damn they feats no kick-ass law all why will, so feet when is, next, they wild train them's own numbers less before completes Exodus. Pity and before fetu, fairy, fain to redeem. So, grows what if every Mexico's or 1 in 2 has what hardships in their lives. From cow, for just this. Moo, and I ate your moom. Just this. So many and all of yous, somewhere in the last 2,000 years, percent is all of you, from where your moom. Cow. Moo. Is why the young artist, first words like. Goo, what be if there is. Could go at, stores food, be of. Mexico's killed. Them all BTWIS lame do, oh I. Whoa. Oh who, God.